Okay, I'm going to go over how to do this assignment from week 15 called the first Sketchpad one, Translation of Figures. So remember that you have to be logged into the student desktop in order to access Sketchpad. So you have to do that. You have to log in, and then you don't really have to open Sketchpad. You can come back here and you can click on this file. But if it won't open unless you're logged into the student desktop. Okay, so once you open this, it might look kind of like this, like I can't see everything. So I'm going to click on this square up here to maximize the window, and I'm going to click on this next square to maximize this window too. Now I can see everything I need to see. So one of the main things that you need to see is these page tabs down at the bottom left corner. It has to say page 1 and page 2 or you won't be able to do all your work. All right, and if you can't get to page 1 and page 2, you can also find them by going to File, Document Options, and then you'll see that there's 2 pages, and you can go to the second page by clicking on it here too. All right, so we already opened the Sketchpad file, so step 1 is all done. Step 2, we are going to select A, B, and C with the selection tool at the top left toolbar. See the top left toolbar? This is the selection tool. Now I can select other things, but if I ever need to select something, I have to go back and get that arrow. Okay? So now I've got it selected. I've selected the selection tool, and I'm going to select points A, B, and C by clicking on them. Now I don't want anything else clicked. I don't want this title clicked or anything else. If it is, you can click on it to unselect it, or you can click in a blank spot to deselect everything. So now I'm going to do that again. A, B, C. I realize now that the words over here were selected. They were pink. Anything that's pink is selected. So now the only thing that's selected is A, B, and C. So it says drag points A, B, and C so they have nice integer values instead of decimal values. Like right now, B is at -1 point, I don't know. So we want to drag them so they're like at nice coordinate points. And you can move it around if you want. But here, A, B, and C, now look at C's got a nice point, B, and I know they're nice points because they're right in the grid lines. I could measure those points. I'm going to select them again. A, B, and C. Now see they're all kind of pink and glowing, so they're selected. And I'm going to go to Measure Coordinates. And they'll even name them. For some reason they put them over here, which doesn't help me out any. But there's my coordinates of A, B, and C right now. Maybe I'll put them right next to each other. Okay. And if I move these points, then the coordinates will change automatically, which is nice. Okay, so I gave points A, B, and C nice coordinate points. There's no decimals or fractions here. So now the next thing is going to be step 4 we're on. Select all of the triangle ABC, including the vertices, points, and the middle of the triangle. So I gotta select them again. And I'm going to select the interior so it has like pink grid marks on it. Now go to the Transform menu at the top and select Translate. Okay, if you Now choose rectangular instead of polar. The default is polar, we're going to use rectangular. Now we're going to change it the way they say. They want 10 centimeters for the horizontal. So instead of 1, I want 10. And instead of vertical, instead of 1, I want 0. When I get these just the way the directions tell me, I'll hit Translate. That's my triangle that has been translated. Now here's another something cool, is that I'm going to deselect everything again, so nothing's glowing. I'm going to select the A tool. You don't have to do this, but it helps you see. And I'm going to click on each of these vertices. And the point A that moved over now has A prime. We say that prime with that apostrophe after it. And B changed to B prime, and C changed to C prime. So they're almost this. You can tell which vertice moved by looking at A to A prime, B to B prime, C to C prime. Okay, now you're going to answer some questions. Q1 says, what were the coordinates of the original triangle? Well, that was kind of nice. I already measured them, and they're right here. So here's those answers. And to type here, you can double click kind of and get in there, and then you can type right on here. So you can say, I should have labeled it A is, originally was -3, 5. And this is going to vary depending on where you moved your triangle to. Remember, the first or the second, third step was to move that triangle so that it had nice points instead of icky integer or decimals and stuff. So you're going to just put whatever you got. The coordinates of the new triangle, now I didn't measure those. I could just find them. I could say, well, let's see, A prime. That's how I'm going to label that. A apostrophe means A prime. That's the one that got changed. That one's coordinates, it looks to me like it's at 5, 6, 7, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 5. Now, how do I check that? If you want, you can use the tools in Sketchpad. I can select these points, except don't select them while you're typing, because right now I'm typing, and if I select something, it's going to put it where I'm typing. So I need to get out of there first. I'm going to select A, B, and C. And I'm going to go to measure coordinates again. And here they are. Did I write the right point for A? Yep. How do the coordinates change? So you'll see that some part of that coordinate changed. Was it the X value or the Y value? Did it increase? Did it decrease? By how much? That's what you're going to write for Q3. Now Q4 says, how do you think the coordinates would change if you put 0 in for the horizontal and 10 for the vertical? So you can think about it and write how you think it's going to change. Or you could actually go back to the translate menu and you could do it again. So you could repeat these steps and figure out how that would change. Step 7 is to repeat steps 4 through 6 to translate the original triangle 0 for horizontal and 4 for vertical. So I'm going to go back to step 4, select all of the original triangle, not your new triangle, including the middle, and go to translate or transform and then translate. And this time they want 0 for the horizontal and 4 for the vertical, right? 0 and 4, yep. Where'd it go? Oh, it's up there. So the new triangle is up here now. And then you'll repeat some questions and say, how did that change? And then you're going to do another one where you're going to translate the original triangle left 2 and down 6. So you have to figure out, how am I going to make it go left 2 instead of right? And the hint is to use negative numbers. And then what do the coordinates and what do the coordinates of the new triangle change by? There's a missing word here. Or we could change it to how do they change. That'd make more sense. And then you answer it by filling in those blanks. That's page 1. Page 2 says that these dashed lines, these are triangles that have already been translated, and it's going to be your job to figure out how they translated. Now, you don't have to leave A, B, and C at the coordinates they're at. You can change them. Again, you can put them at nicer looking coordinates if you want. And all of the translated triangles are going to change at the same time. So if that helps you see how A changed up to triangle, here's DEF, the first one. So how did ABC change to DEF? So obviously it went up so many, and you'll have to figure out how many it went up. And it also moved over to the left, so you'll have to say how many left it went. So for Q7, you need to have 2 answers. You need to say it's been translated, well, this one's been translated left, so you could underline that. Here's my underline tools down here. Something like that. Or I could just cross off the right. I could delete that part. And then by how many units did it move left? So here's A, here's D. It moved over 1, 2 units. So it moved left 2 units. And it also moved up, because the original is the yellow one, the ABC. It moved up, so I don't need the down. And how many units did it go up? From A to D? 1, 2, 3 units up. So that's how you'd answer this one. And then for Q8, question 8, you're going to say, how did GHK, that's this one here, how did this triangle get translated from this one? So remember, this yellow one is your original. It moved up and over to the right, but you got to figure out how many, and then one more one to do. And then the last couple questions are just kind of general. If you want to translate a point, what would you do to the x value? What would you do to the y value? All right, please let me know if you have any questions. If you need more help, you can meet with me in my Collaborate room or in the ASC room, and we can work on this together.